Okay, it's been a while since I've done one of these, and it's specifically been a long, long time since I did one specifically on best decks in Edison format. I think I did something like this at the very, very beginning of my channel, but I felt it would be appropriate to do another one now, seeing as we are just after the second Deck Devastators tournament, right before Ribbit Rulers, just to flesh out how I'm feeling about the meta game right now. So, we have the same decks as last time. There haven't been a whole lot of new breakout decks in the last few months that I can really think of adding, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Most of the things can generally be translated into something that's relevant for the modern game state anyway, or format. Okay, we're just going to start with Sabers then, because it's the first on the list and it's over here, so seems reasonable, seems reasonable. Where do I think X-Sabers are? I think X-Sabers are B, like solid B though, maybe even high B. I don't remember where I put them last time, but yeah, I think it's fair. I think Fitz has convinced me that X-Sabers is at least okayish. Certainly not bad, so potentially even high B tier I could see for X-Sabers. Okay. Okay, next up we got Diva Frogs. Man, I feel like there's like way too many Diva categories. Holy yeah. And like there's a whole nother Diva Hero deck out kind of now, which I'm gonna have to sort of address in this, huh? But Diva Frog, where do I put this? I think most of the Frog decks, at least the good ones, are A tier somewhere. Maybe not high A tier, maybe like low A tier, but I think yeah, they're pretty good. I'm a Frog enjoyer. I'm a Frog fan, so I'm gonna put most of them in A tier. I think they're a very strong strategy and always will be. A lot of people really, really down on Frogs right now. People think it's shit, and to be fair, I haven't seen too many Frog decks getting played out there, except by the few people who are like Frog mains or whatever. You know, Roanoke will always be playing Frogs, but I think the deck's not bad. Maybe it's quite difficult to play, actually. I've had a lot of difficulty trying to play Frogs, so I think it's a high skill kind of deck for sure. Definitely not as simple as a lot of the like more powerful aggro decks in the format. You really need to know your stuff to play Frogs. But I think if you do, assuming you do know your stuff, I think it's an A tier deck. So yeah. Okay, Ancient Gears. Ugh, this deck is garbage. This deck is so bad. Folds to anything. Like, I'm not even talking about Cyber Dragon at this point. It just loses to like so much stuff. Like, you know, Bottomless or Dupe Lock, or it's just like anything that doesn't let you like meme OTK, or if you just don't draw the meme OTK. I mean, it's just not. I don't like all in kind of aggro strategies like this. I think it's just inherently a very, very fragile deck. I mean, what? Yeah. Let's stop complaining about it and just see where I put it. I mean, I'm thinking C or D, and I don't know what's gonna go in D tier yet. So it's maybe there's like a worse tier than Ancient Gears. It's got like some okay things going for it, but I really think it's trash. I mean, I think it's just garbage. I do not like it. Sorry. It's going probably in low C, but we'll see where it ends up. In the long run. Quickdraw. I'm a bit higher on Quickdraw than I was last time I did this list. I think it's really proved that it is consistently able to top events. It is always one of those decks that's in there in the top cut. Now, as for versions, I think the Volcanic one is a little bit better, and I'm going to put it above Diva Frogs. I think it's better than that deck, but I think the Volcanic version is a little better. I like having Blaze Accelerator and like Royal Decree and stuff. It feels like they provide a lot of answers to things that are problems for quick draw decks, like Royal Oppression Decree answers that, you know, Floodgate monsters, or just stuff that's hard to out. Aggro decks, Blaze Accelerator just deals so well with that, so I'm a bigger fan of this version, but like the trap heavier version definitely has some merits too and has been doing pretty well. So I think both versions are quite good. Chainburn's garbage. It always will be. It's hyper matchup dependent. It's just it loses to a lot. I mean, there are some matchups I think where Chainburn can definitely just kind of auto win. So that's maybe something for it, but it will never be a good deck in Edison format. I will declare this categorically, and if I'm wrong, I'll look dumb then. But honestly, I think I put in like D tier last time. Maybe I'll put a little higher this time because actually I don't know why. It hasn't done anything at any event, so if anything, it still just belongs in D. D for done nothing. I mean, yeah, it's just it's not good. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. They're like two people out there coping on this, and it will just never be good. And if it ever does become good, people will just pre for it, and it will go back to being bad because it's so easy to counter. So, yeah, sorry. Diva Hero. I think I put this at S last time. This is not an S. It has definitely fallen off a bit, but I still think it's A. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know where in A I'm gonna end up putting this, but I think it's pretty good still. I think. I mean, okay. This is where I kind of have to address that people have been playing Diva Hero Beat a lot lately. So, this is interesting. My opinion personally is that Diva Hero is better than Diva Hero Beat, which is better than just like vanilla Diva Hero that people or vanilla Hero Beat that people used to play. Sorry. But I just think it's like as you transition towards more Diva Hero, the deck just becomes better. That's kind of where I'm at on that. So I'm not really sure if the new Hero Beat deck belongs in A or not. And we'll just use Hero Beat to represent like the version with Diva. Or maybe can represent both. I don't know. I just don't think it's that good though. I think that it just feels inherently kind of not that good at playing a deck that just revolves around 1900 beaters, and then if you run out, and they're just vanillas. They don't do anything. I think I've really just become convinced that Neos Alias is not a good card. I mean, it's just a vanilla. I know there's a lot of good like cards you can play around it, but at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like it's just not a very versatile deck. There's a lot of things it can't deal with. Yeah, adding the divas has definitely made it better, but like I would rather just play Diva Hero, you know? I mean, I would rather just play a deck with a higher ceiling, with like better cards like Caius and whatnot. So I'm gonna be forced to put this a little lower. I think last time I put Hero Beat at A because it'd been performing well in pretty much every tournament, but I don't think we've seen that so much. We've seen like maybe one every now and then a top cut, but I'm a little bit lower on this deck than I was before. I'm going to put it like top of B. It's not terrible. It's definitely not bad. But I do not believe it is worthy of A tier anymore. Fairies, however, is definitely worthy of A tier. Now, according to a certain somebody out there, Fairies is the #1 best deck of the entire format, top of S tier, like unironically. And I think I speak for the entire Edison community when I say that is cope. Fairies is definitely not the #1 deck. Sorry. It's too easy to counter. Like, gets blown out by common sideboard cards and just auto loses. That being said, Fairies is a very good deck. I think Fairies is probably top of A. I'm if anything, I think this is really generous of me putting this top of A. I think most people would rank Fairies much lower than that. For sure, my opinion on Fairies is a bit of an outlier. I think Fairies is very good. I think the hand traps are really crazy. I think the recruiters are really crazy. I think Christia is one of the most powerful boss monsters. But, like, it definitely has problems that prevent it from being, like, S tier. So, I know a certain someone out there will disagree with me on that, but yeah, I'm sorry. I can't justify putting it in S. Dragon Turbo. This is a really interesting one. This was a deck that was like a meme for about a month and then just kind of went away. So I don't really know where to put it. It's difficult to pilot, and it's got a really high ceiling. However, it's also got a really low floor if you do brick, but its consistency isn't so bad. I don't know. I feel like A somewhere, maybe, is probably where I would put it. But I'm not sure where in A. Do I think it's better than Quickdraw? Based on results alone, I think Quickdraw performs a bit better on average. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it in the middle of A tier for now. I mean, yeah, once again, I can't really justify putting it higher because it just has not topped as consistently as some of these other decks. Fairies, frankly, hasn't topped that consistently, but, you know, I'm just I'm not every one of these decks is based on like total like spreadsheet math in terms of top cuts, but yeah, for this one, since I don't really know, I'm kind of just gonna defer to that. I'm gonna put it in like the middle of A. I think it's a solid deck for sure. It's definitely, I don't think it's S though. Every now and then, it seems silly now, but there was a time a few months ago when everyone's like, "Oh, Dragon Turbo, it's the best deck. It's ruining the format." Like, we keep swinging between decks that everyone thinks is like the best deck. It's ruining the format. Right now, it's Value Turbo, and it has been Value Turbo for a hot minute. But I mean, I think Edison is a long, long, long way from being solved, and all of these claims are very, very premature for now. So look, it took like 10 years for GOAT format to get where it is now. It's probably going to take years for Edison format to develop. So we don't really know, and that's kind of what I'm trying to represent with this list. A lot of these I just don't really know. So yeah, Dark Gaia. I mean, I put this in S as a meme last time, but we're not doing it this time. We're going to be honest. I think it's maybe bottom of B. It's definitely playable. You could conceivably top with it. Some people have gotten close. But it is a lot worse than Diva Hero. It's strictly a worse version of Diva Hero, I think, and there's just no way to argue that. Maybe with a little more OTK potential, but honestly, that even is debatable, because Diva Hero has some like crazy ceiling turns with level 8 Synchro, Dad, Miracle, all that. So, yeah. I'm just going to leave it here. I think that's fine. On to Diva Zombie. I think Zombies is S tier. I might not put it in the top of S like I did last time. However, it is definitely one of the best decks. It is one of the... It's probably in the top 3 decks with like most tops. There's always zombie decks in Top Cut. It's very, very represented at the high level of gameplay. So I think Zombies is definitely right now one of the best decks. Maybe not the best, but one of the best for sure. I don't think there's any debating that. So yeah, Lightsworn's got to be an A somewhere, right? I mean, okay, it's probably just like worse than Turbo. I need to think about this. Is it worse than Turbo? It's like less consistent than Turbo with a lower ceiling, but the bad hands aren't as bad. I think next to Turbo somewhere. They're kind of like I don't want to say analogous. They're not completely the same. Turbo's like everything Lightsworn is dialed up to 11. It's like a way more extreme sort of Turbo deck. Whereas Lightsworn, it's like, sometimes you do just win turn 1, but it does not happen nearly as often as in Dragon Turbo. So I don't know how comparable they are, but I think they're around the same level in like top of A. I have this Quickdraw deck really high. Should Quickdraw be this high? I don't know. We're going to have to like figure it out at some point. Yeah, I think I'll just leave this like it is. Fish, no one plays this anymore. It's an extinct deck. It's garbage. Diva Frog. No. Frog Hero. Okay. I think this is better than Diva Frog. But only narrowly. I mean, they're very similar, of course. So we're just going to put it there. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Blackwings. This basically represents the hybrid build at this point with Dark Griffer. Oh, wait, no. We have that on here, too. Shit, these really shouldn't be separate. Like I said, hardly anyone plays regular Blackwings anymore. Just like vanilla 2010 Blackwings. There's some weird builds out there, like the one in Deck Devastators that plays like Cyber Dragon and stuff. So I guess it's okay to still have this separate, but I think eventually we'll reach a phase where Hybrid is the only Blackwing deck, and then it's just Hybrid and Value Turbo. And that's it in terms of Blackwings. However, Blackwings is S tier. Actually, wait. I'm going to put this at the top of A. This might be controversial. I think just like plain old Blackwings, I've felt increasingly not that impressed by it anymore. Not as much as I was. I feel like if you know the matchup and you understand like the weak points and how to play it, it's really not that scary. Unless they open some unbeatable hand with like, Whirlwind Shura going first or something with Dad. I don't know. But honestly, increasingly, I am kind of skeptical that this version of Blackwings is S tier. I'm going to put it in the top of A. I'm going to put it in the top of A, which is functionally not that different from the bottom of S, so don't complain too hard at me. Flamvell Zombie, I don't even know if this belongs in A anymore. I think Fitz stopped playing this and started playing Diva Zombie. It's definitely just worse than Diva Zombie, so maybe top of B somewhere. I don't know. Where Fitz, if you're watching, where are you at on this in terms of relative to X-Saber? Is it better or worse than X-Saber? I think it's better than X-Saber still. I still think it's better than X-Saber, but maybe you disagree on that. Okay, so this is like Disaster Dragon. This is another list that Keegan's gonna hate me for. Oh crap! This deck's garbage. I feel I referred to this deck the other day when talking to Sunny as like an extinct deck. Like no one even plays this version. I've never seen it in like a year, and I stand by that. I just it's not good. I mean, I feel the same way about it as I feel about like Ancient Gears. It's like, what do you even do? I mean, how do you play against anything with this? Like summon Red Med Drago is just not that scary, you know? Like it just loses to anything. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I feel like even if you open Future Fusion, this deck's not that scary. Now maybe that's a hot take, but that's where I'm at on it. I mean, I've not seen it anywhere. I think it's garbage. I think it's garbage, honestly. GBs, I have to move this up a bit since it's actually performed in an event somewhere. It wasn't in any of the big ribbit, like, super competitive events, but did manage to top deck Devastators twice, so I think it's got to go higher. I'm going to put it in B tier. I still think it's kind of a very matchup-dependent pre-sort of deck, but it can definitely perform at a high level. At least it is possible. And so, I mean, yeah, I can't justify putting it as low as I did, but I still hate it. I still hate it a lot, so, yeah. Gadgets suck. I mean, if you play like Machina, I get why is Machina not on here in any form? Okay, whatever. You know, my fault for not making my own version, but yeah, just like regular 1-for-1 gadgets, complete garbage. Just like probably worse than these two. So I'm gonna put it bottom of C. I think that's reasonable. Flamvell. This deck might be kind of slept on. I always don't know where to put this. I think maybe middle towards top end of B. It may be worse than Flamvell Zombies just because Zombies are a really good engine. Then again, it's probably more consistent than Flamvell Zombies, and you can play like Soulsmatic's version or Soul with the with like stun cards and whatnot. So I don't really know. I think somewhere in here is probably an okay place for it. Yeah, that's about where I am. Amaryllis, it's B somewhere, maybe near bottom of B. Just hasn't done too much since I topped with it. Now hardly anyone plays it, which is fair. It's probably the best like equipment plant strategy out there. I think I stand by that. Maybe a bit underexplored, underutilized, but I can't really justify putting it higher than this. I mean, I guess you could argue like Fen did really well with it in that one Iron Man thing that I posted, which is maybe a point in its favor, but just not a lot of Amaryllis gameplay going on, so, you know, low end of B. It's probably about as high as I could justify putting it at the moment. So here we have, like, regular quick... I don't know what version of Quickdraw this is. Like, hamster Quickdraw, trap card Quickdraw. I think it's really good. I think... I don't know, where do we want to... Like, it's at this point, it's really hard to say where things rank relevant to each other. I'm just going to put it next to the other one. I think it's worse than the Volcanic one, but they're both really good decks. Really, really solid in my opinion. So, yeah. Bayou Turbo, I think this is top of S. I don't think many people would disagree with that at this point. It's definitely proven to be probably the most competitive deck in the format right now. So, yeah, it's where I'm putting it. Hybrid is going to go in bottom of S. I think between these two is probably a fine play. And between the other two, well, people always call Bayou Turbo a Blackwing deck. Bayou Turbo is not a Blackwing deck. Like, I know it plays some Blackwing cards with Bayou plus the Synchros plus the other thing that you use to make the Bayou Synchros, but fundamentally, it is not a Blackwing deck. It does not play like a Blackwing deck. It is its own thing. So, yeah, let me just make that clear. In terms of this Blackwing deck, I do think this one is S tier because it also does like the Bayou stuff, and it's just a lot more streamlined and like better than this like clunky 10-year-old version that people play. So it's going in S. Bottom of S, I think, is probably about right for it. So yeah, Skill Drain Zombie is not even a real deck. I've seen some weird builds with like creature swap, but it's not good. It's not good. KFC. I'm sure you're all very hyped to see where I put this. Based on my experience playing it in the past, like 4 months on the channel, I cannot justify putting it below A. I don't think it's S. That's probably Cope. I mean, I just haven't played it enough to put it that high. I think it's kind of higher in A than where I put it last time, though. I'm definitely higher on it than I was last time I made this list. I think it's a very good deck, a very solid deck. Just deals so well with a lot of things. No, like, glaring weaknesses. Can definitely compete, based in my experience. Maybe it's, like, with the quick draw stuff somewhere? I don't know. Are people gonna get mad if I put it this high? I mean, alright. I kind of want to put it, like, here. I really feel like it's insanely good. It's just... It deals so well with so much stuff. I feel like when I play my, like, optimized version, I just feel like I can't lose to anything. So, I know I can't, like, just stick it in S based on nothing, but I feel like it should be pretty high in A. I really do. You could all flame me in the comments for this, but I definitely feel like it's a very good deck. You know, maybe this is my cope, whatever. You know what? If I get one, everyone gets one. Keegan gets to put fairies and dragons in S tier, and I get to put this in high A. I feel like I'm coping far less than that. So, yeah, Gravekeepers is still bad. Yeah, maybe it's not D tier. Maybe it's probably better than these decks. We'll put it up a tier. We'll bump it up. And finally, I should, like, create an F tier and stick this in it just to piss off Snack, but I'm not gonna. We're gonna be honest. We're being honest today. Where does Cat go? Maybe, like, middle of B. Maybe, like, below Sabers, because Sabers is just a better Cat deck. I feel like that's a fair place to put it. I feel like I put it, like, right above Amaryllis last time too, right? I don't think it's moved too much in my opinion. It still hasn't, like... It's gotten, like, close to topping, I think, so a couple times, but I don't think it's actually done it in terms of pure cat decks. So this is probably a good place to put it. These are, like, bottom of B here is, like, you could maybe top with it, you know, but it's a long shot. And given that trend, I think this is a good place to put cat. So there you have it. This is the absolutely perfect, zero flaws, zero mistakes, finalized Edison format tier list for November 2022. Everyone use this wisely when creating your decks for Ribbit Rulers if you qualified. I think this is basically perfect. No mistakes. No mistakes. No cope. No unjustified bashing of decks. Absolutely objective, rational tier list by me. Alright, if you think I'm stupid, leave a comment letting me know. If you would like to see more, subscribe to the channel, like the video, all of that stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.